Strategy 1. Stop spending energy you don't own. We are running on a budget we didn't choose. Every decision, every conversation, every hour of forced focus pulls from the same account. And most of us are overdrawn by noon. That's not a motivation problem. That's math. So here's the first move. Block 1 hour today where you do nothing that requires output. No producing, no responding, no optimizing. Just exist somewhere quiet. Your brain isn't being lazy during that hour. It's doing maintenance work you've been skipping for weeks, the kind of work that only happens when you stop demanding performance. And be honest, you felt this today already. That slow, heavy feeling behind your eyes. That's not weakness. That's your system telling you the account is empty. The reason this works is simple. Your brain burns more energy per unit of weight than almost any other organ in your body. It doesn't get a free pass just because you're sitting still. Thinking hard costs something real. And when you never let the cost recover, everything downstream gets worse. Your memory, your mood, your ability to make a decent decision. Rest isn't a reward for finishing. It's the fuel that makes finishing possible. Strategy 2. Treat boredom like a tool, not a problem. Now, most of us panic the second boredom shows up. We grab the phone, we find a task, we fill the silence, and that reflex is quietly destroying our ability to think. Here's the move. Sit with boredom on purpose. 10 minutes. No screen, no input, no task. Just let your mind wander wherever it wants to go. This isn't meditation. You don't need a technique. You just need to stop running. What happens during that window is genuinely useful. Your brain switches into a mode that connects old information in new ways. It processes things you didn't have time to process. It solves problems you weren't consciously working on. Every insight you've ever had in the shower, that's this. You didn't earn it by thinking harder. You earned it by stopping. The mistake we keep making is treating an idle mind like a broken one. It's not broken, it's working on something you can't see yet. And that leads directly into the next problem. Because even when we do stop, most of us aren't actually stopping. Strategy 3. Separate rest from distraction. Scrolling your phone for an hour? That's not rest. Your brain is still processing images, text, emotional signals, social comparisons. The input never stops. You're just switching which task is draining you. Real rest means low stimulation. A walk without headphones, sitting outside, staring at nothing in particular. These aren't romantic suggestions. They're just inputs your nervous system can handle without cost. The move here is to audit one thing you currently call rest and ask whether it's actually quiet. If it involves a screen, it probably isn't. Swap it for something with no agenda and no content to consume. Even 20 minutes of that is worth more than 2 hours of passive scrolling. Here's the uncomfortable part. Most of us are exhausted and overstimulated at the same time. That combination makes everything feel harder than it is. Cutting the stimulation doesn't just feel better, it changes how capable you actually are the next day. Strategy 4. Use laziness as a filter. We've been treating laziness like a character flaw. It isn't. It's information. When something feels like a grind every single time, that's worth paying attention to. The move is this. Look at your task list and find the things you've been avoiding the longest. Don't force them. Ask instead why they keep getting skipped. Sometimes the answer is that they don't actually need to happen. Sometimes they can be simplified. Sometimes they belong to someone else entirely. Your resistance isn't always self-sabotage. Sometimes it's your system correctly identifying that a task is low value and high cost. The problem is, we've been trained to override that signal instead of read it. Lazy isn't the enemy. Lazy pointed at the wrong things is. Pointed at the right things, it's efficiency. Strategy 5. Protect the recovery window. This is where most people lose the gains. They rest once, feel better, and immediately fill the next available gap with more output. The recovery window closes before it does its job. The move is to schedule the gap like it's a meeting. Put it in your day before the day starts. Not after everything else is done, because everything else is never done. Before. Treat it as non-negotiable as any other commitment. Your body and brain don't recover on demand. They recover on schedule. When the schedule is random, the recovery is shallow. When it's consistent, the baseline slowly rises. You get more done in less time, not because you pushed harder, but because you stop depleting the system every single day without refilling it. The summary for the shredded attention span. Rest isn't the opposite of productivity. It's what makes productivity possible. Boredom is a tool your brain uses to solve problems you can't force. Distraction and rest aren't the same thing, and confusing them is costing you more than you think. Laziness is sometimes your system correctly reading the situation. Protect the recovery window before the day fills it in. You already knew most of this. You just kept scheduling it last. That's the whole problem, and it's a predictable one. So go be usefully lazy. I'm done here.